Okay, so for today's tutorial, we are going to take a photograph and we are going to do this effect where it kind of looks like a comic book illustration or comic book pen and ink and then colored drawing. So we're going to start here with our image of our friend HanSolo here. Went ahead and selected him out from the background. I got a nice clean selection here. And I am going to copy and paste him into a new image here. I have a 4" by 5" image at 300 dpi, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste him in there. He fits right in there just nicely. And then what we're going to do from here, we're going to save that first one we put in so we can preserve it because we might need one of those later. Go ahead and push Command J to make a copy of that and make another layer up here. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go to this layer here. We want to turn this into a smart object again so we can adjust filters on the fly if we need to go back and adjust them. So we're going to go here and convert to a smart object just like that. Okay. Now we're going to apply a filter to this. Okay. The filter we're going to go to is we're going to try and make those black lines like that we see in a comic illustration. So in order to do that, we're going to apply a filter here. We're going to go up here to Filter, Filter Gallery, and we're going to go to Poster Edges, which I already have selected here. So you can see what it does here to the image. Right over here, Poster Edges. Image thickness, I've got it set to 3. Let's go ahead and knock that back to about 2 there. I want the black lines, but I want to reduce some of the noise I see in his face. Edge intensity, 2, and posterize is 2. Okay, and you can take those way up and see what they do to the image or down, but we're going to leave it right there at 2 for right now. Okay, so we got that as soon as we're done with that. And you can do all kinds of different things up here and change these to all different kinds of effects. A painting effect to it. It's supposed to be a pastel effect. I don't know about that. But there's lots of different artistic and sketch, stylized, and textured filters that you could put over top of your drawing to give different effects. All right. So once we got it set like that, we're going to say OK. And we're going to come in here just a little bit here so we can see our friend. Scoot him over just a little bit. Now, we've got this, and we're starting to get the effect, but we don't quite have the effect. So what we are going to do is we are going to take out the color, so we're left with just in black and white. All right, so to do that, we're going to go over here to Image. We're going to go to Adjustments, and we're going to adjust Threshold. Okay. Threshold is basically going to turn this into a black and white image. Now you see when it first comes up here, we've got black and white right in between here. This line is right here, and it has a number of 128. What that means is it's going to take everything lighter and make it white, everything darker and make it black. So as you see, I slide this and I move that threshold over, I can start to get different effects and allowing more light. But as I do that, I kind of go until I get kind of enhance that line art look that I have. Okay, and I'm going to go just a little bit so that I see that reflection on his face there. And I say okay. And again, just on that 128. So if I go over here, what that means, I've got hue saturation in black right here. So if I go at a 50% right there, so it's a 50% gray. You'll notice all these numbers are 128. So red, blue, and green, that's saturation there. So when we threshold, we adjust that threshold, everything above is going to turn white. Everything below is 128 is going to turn black. So that's how it's determining the black and white into colors. All right, so we've got this guy right here. Okay, now we've got it, and again, we are getting there, but we're not quite there. We got kind of a raggedy edge to it here, so we're going to try and clean that up, and we're going to do that again with our filter gallery. We're going to go in here and we're going to go to the stylize under filter, and we are going to do the oil paint. Okay, and you'll see what it does there. It kind of turns it into brush strokes where it starts breaking it down there. Okay, you got a preview here, a little window here, but we got our preview over here working because we just have one filter going right now. Okay, and we take that stylization and you'll see it goes from basically short marks to longer marks, longer, softer marks. Okay, so kind of set that until you get your feeling that you want, and gives that feeling of a comic book kind of pen and ink drawing. Okay, now don't worry about too much about some of the extra lines here on his face. In the other places they're not bad, but on his face it looks like we'll clean those up a little later. Okay, we do have cleanliness here too, and we take that all the way down. Obviously it's going to get kind of blocky, and we go all the way up, it's going to get kind of soft. So we're going to take that back down this way. We want kind of a drawing effect, so we're going to take that down to about there. And you kind of play with it until you're happy with the way the image looks. Okay. Once you're done, go ahead and push OK. Okay. Again, these are smart filters, so any of these that you want to change, you can go back in, just double click on it, and it'll bring it right back up. Say I see this and you're like, I want to take that and I want to make it just a little bit less and give me a little bit more blocky feeling, and then I can. Okay. And you can do those in it because it's a smart image, and we can do those on the fly. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and take him out, Command 0 to take a full look at him. Looking pretty good here. I've got kind of the comic look I want. All right, now we're going to add some color to it. So we're going to go back down here to our color original image. We're going to Command J to make another copy of that. Go ahead and we're going to drag it all the way up above here so we have it at the top. Okay. Now we are going to go back to that filter gallery and use that same filter gallery and that same posterize effect to simplify our colors. Okay. So basically what we're doing is we're simplifying transitions. So breaking down, instead of 50 transitions, is taking it down to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Okay. So first of all, we already got our line image. We don't need that. We've got it separated out in black and white. So we're going to take that edge thickness and that edge intensity all the way down. So we're kind of just left with color, specifically on his face and his shirt where we see it here in the lighter areas. Got posterization set at 2, and you see as we go up it kind of reduces that. So we're going to leave that down at 2 because we want to have that kind of painterly comic book look to it. So we do that, looks good, and we go ahead and push OK. Okay. Now, again, notice on our smart object, we can still adjust these as they're in these smart filters. On the layer we just did that to our color, it did not, because it's not a smart object. It's a stagnant object. It's rasterized. So we can undo it, but we can't change it on the fly like we can in the smart objects. So again, just pointing out the difference. Now we want to blend this color with our under image of the black and white. So to do that, we are going to use the multiply, which is just going to combine the two images and give us this cool effect so that we're happy with it. Okay. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to clean up some of the blemishes on his face here, and we're going to do that by using the blemish tool. So we'll go in here and we'll just kind of clean up a little bit where you think it needs to be cleaned up a little bit. We're going to do that on the black layer. And to do that, we need to collapse all groups. And rasterize our layers. That'll put everything down so that those layers and our smart filter layer are now a regular layer. So we can go in and we can start cleaning up his face a little bit. Anywhere so it looks like 28-year-old Harrison Ford and not 48-year-old Harrison Ford. Noise doesn't really bother me anywhere else there, just kind of those areas there, just a little bit of touch up there. Okay, now we're going to hit Command 0, look at our picture again here. We're looking pretty good. I like how it is. We're going to go ahead and zoom out here. Let's go ahead and put a background in here. Let's go ahead and just put a gradient in here. Let's go and we'll just go to black here. Just do a black and white gradient. Go to our gradient tool, which is sitting behind your paint bucket tool if you can't see it. Gradient tool. We're just going to drag from the bottom straight up. Put a gradient in the background there. And then let's go ahead and stick with that same theme, and we'll go ahead and put a filter on that and the stylize. Instead of, let's do extrude. And when we extrude that, we'll do that to blocks. You can do pyramids. You can also see how that looks. But it's basically going to add a 3D effect to the background here. Okay. We're not going to change anything. You can change it if you want and see the different effects, but we'll just go ahead and put OK, and it adds that effect back there. And that is how we get a comic book illustration effect on a regular photo.